Hi, hi. I'm Anthony Mckenna, and for the Pale Man, I play the Pale Man. I started acting again early this year, and I've been flat out. I'm so excited for you to learn more about the Pale Man and to be slightly freaked out. For me, it starts with the feeling. So the first time I'd seen the Pale Man was on media therapy on Facebook. It was the casting call, and I was immediately drawn to like the light and the dark of the poster. It looked to me to be very psychologically interesting when I got the script, because at its core, it to me was a conversation between two people, and the fact that there was a horror edge to it, but not done in a cliche way, like horror is in that psychology.
And it was slashing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
It was a mental challenge in a way that we're both trying to unravel each other in the script. So that drew me to it. For me, it was extremely well written. Normally, when you read a script, there's not much going on between the lines. This took me 3 or 4 times to read it, and then I started picking up on the nuances and things. You know, it was extremely well structured and put together. That, for me, was a massive attraction to it. There's a lot to be said about repressing emotions or feelings over the course of one's life, or challenges, and just trying to be stronger and stronger and stronger and live through things. And sometimes they creep up on you. And I think this film is about those challenges, and sometimes whether you like it or not, you have to face them. In the case of this film, without spoiling it, the sleepless man has a lot of weight that he's carrying emotionally in terms of regrets, and he feels embarrassed about things that he's done or maybe should have done in the past. So I think this film is a warning not to ignore things that happen in life which challenge you, something that actually deals with issues. The character I play is called the Pale Man, and on the surface level it's just because he's a pale man, right? He's white, anemic. It took me a long time to find him, and by that I mean, you know, on the script, he may say certain things or phrases or words or has lines of questioning, but who is he? And for me, the Pale Man's a real thing. He is judgment. He has existed forever. So I'm maybe, as a Pale Man, maybe I am a personification of all of those truths that he's ignoring. But for me, the Pale Man was real. You know, it's a time-old story of judgment.
Okay, yeah.
He weighs your heart against a feather, you know. So I did a lot of research for my roles. From playing a detective, I might look into the psychology of someone who's a detective, for example. But that's only really the homework to get you to a point. So apart from learning my lines, I would meet up with Hootie, him and I would go through a scene together with the script or without the script. And then we took frequent pauses and say, well, what does this character mean in this moment? And a lot of that is kind of helping you understand the character. So the rehearsals, we met up, say, every Monday. We spent a good couple of hours almost philosophizing over the piece. And yeah, we publicly rehearsed at times and gained an audience on 1 or 2 occasions. And then apart from that, you know, you do your own work at home, you just learn your lines through it. So it was a fairly, I would say it's most akin to a play in our rehearsal approach. Because it is that dialogue between two people, so we rehearse it that way. So I don't know if you know this, but for my audition, I sent a self-tape in to Andrew, who wrote and directed the piece, and for that I put on white makeup to make my give an impression of what I thought this pale man could be. And for me, I've done that. It's probably over the top, but for me, it helps me realise how my face can move under makeup, or with the hands when you put the white makeup on, it cracks. It tells me a lot about the character. You know, he's got bruises on his knuckles, therefore his hands are quite tight. His costume is a suit, so he probably sees himself as quite a serious person. He, even as far as the props, so the cigarettes and stuff, chain smoking, and so that will inform how he holds his body, how he breathes, how he perhaps speaks darker. So all of those layers for me help build the character.
Right.
So very, very important for me, like, was the costume. So in the lead up to filming, I struggled massively with the voice for Pale Man. Like, how would this person who's lived 1,000 lives speak if he were real? What accent would he have? You know, I'm not ashamed to say about it, up until the day of shooting, I still struggled. And then it was interesting because on the day of shoot, our costume and makeup person, Susan, I expressed this concern, and she said, well, he's lived 1,000 years, he probably collects things. So it was only really then, on the first day, that all of those pieces kind of came together fully for me and fully formed. There was layers to Pale Man that slowly revealed himself, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, quite a few.
Right.
So the poster, as you know, was, the initial poster was, you could see in his hands like a puppet master.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, that just reminded me of David Bowie.
Wow. Right.
For some,
That's a curveball.
I mean, if you think of like the cover for Heroes, and you know, he was very into his mime.
Right.
And I thought, well, the Pale Man could potentially kill you. How? You know, so the hands movements, and so it just reminded me of mime, and I just thought David Bowie, along with the shadows and the light. And then in finding some of the voice, I would think of people like early punk, kind of Mark Bolan type characters, walking back a little bit, and you know, musicians tell stories within 3 minutes using their bodies in music videos and things.
Okay.
And I just thought,
right,
I have to make the sleepless man who hasn't slept feel uncomfortable. And according to the script, it just builds and builds that tension. So to me, it lends itself to music. So I was thinking of Mark Bolan, David Bowie. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
When I first read the script, I would have said it's for actors, because it's an amazing script. It's incredibly challenging. You have to make this conversation between two people to be a lock-in for 20 minutes. Why should I keep watching this? So for me, it's for actors to watch and go, well, there's maybe something in this. How can I approach this difficult conversation in my own work, or you know, in a play or whatever? And when I was doing the shoot, I thought this is for filmmakers, cinephiles, people who love film. And so there's a lot of care and attention put into the production of it, and the support, collaboration of the crew was second to none. So for that reason, I would have said cinephiles. Well, now, spoiler alert, we've seen a rough cut of the film. I think it's for audiences and fans of film, but not just the horror genre. Because I thought of it as a horror film. Now I see it as much more layered.
Right. So the audience would be thinking a lot after.
I think so. Audiences will watch this film the first time and think one thing. They'll want to watch it again, and they might think another thing entirely. But the best thing about this is it's the type of movie that you walk away having conversations about. So it will sit with you. And you don't want to talk about it.
But then if that happens, the film is worked.
Yes. Absolutely.